Hey, this is Matt once again. What about in the video? This is a paid request. This time for Jack Thompson. Thank you so much, man. You and many others have been very generous. I really appreciate it. I really do. For those interested, requesting pretty much any type of review or re-review or topic or randomness, reaction, commentary, re-review, whatever it may be, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box under the video. It'll be under pretty much each of these videos in the info box. Now this is about a Simpsons episode called Burns Baby Burns, Season 8, Episode 4. Pretty much the one with Rodney Dangerfield. And I would say he's the big plus in the episode. Just the rest of it, I wouldn't say I found that funny. I don't know if it's because I just haven't seen Simpsons in a long while and there's a part of me that's just kind of over it. Or, I know I've seen this episode before, but I remember watching the episodes of The Simpsons, at least the first maybe 10 seasons. There was a time where I watched them over and over again, and I have the DVDs, I would listen to the commentaries, and the commentaries are fun. Like, the commentaries were fun on those. And then they stopped doing it, then they brought them back just to immediately stop it again. That's why I didn't buy the new ones, because I know they immediately just fucking stop again. And lo and behold, they did. But The Simpsons, before we get into this, I grew up with The Simpsons. I remember the first one I saw was a VHS tape of their first official episode, the Christmas episode, with Santa's Little Helper, where Homer sounded more like Walter Matthau. Walter Matthau tone to Homer Simpson's voice. If you watch the first two seasons, and then you watch stuff today, it feels like two completely different shows. Because the thing is, when The Simpsons initially started, at first it was part of the Tracy Ullman show with these little shorts, very crude animation. And then Fox gave it a chance, it hit the right button, and some people felt the early Simpsons were more real than actual live-action sitcoms going on. And it was the hip thing. It was the cool thing. The Simpsons were cool. But now they've been on so long, and they've diluted their ideas so much. And in a way, something like Beavis and Butthead, which I haven't seen the new stuff, but in a way, them taking breaks, granted not sometimes not by choice, that actually helps something like Beavis and Butthead. Because when they come back, how can I miss you if you don't go away? So like Beavis and Butthead had a run, it ended. You had the movie, great movie, Do America. Then it was gone for a while. And as much as I say I wish it went on longer, Beavis and Butthead came back. What was it, 2011 or so? Really enjoyed that. I have it over here. I really enjoyed that. And I maybe want to see more, and it wasn't. And you didn't give it to me. And then, many years later, you got a new movie. Now, I don't think it was as good as Do America, but I did like Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe. I wish there was a way for me to buy it. I did enjoy it. Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe was fun. It would probably be my top 10 of the year. And now they have these new episodes, and I just don't have the time and such. I've just been very busy. Paid requests come first, because I figure if someone's taking the time and money to send me requests, I think that's first. That's just how I view it. I know it seems strange, but I really do appreciate it. I think that's the least I can do. Just saying. Now, but that's the thing, though, is that because we had time to miss you, when they come back, it feels more refreshing. But then when you have a show like The Simpsons that's been on for... What are they on? Season 40? Close. 30-something. 30-something to life. It just goes, how many times do you have Homer being an idiot? How many times can Homer mess up and Homer and Marge break up? How many times... It just... just to a point where I know there are people that like the new Simpsons. What's funny is that show must be so popular or must get enough ratings to keep going on and on. Or I don't know if it's making money on revenue. But I don't know anybody that watches. Okay, if anyone has seen the past 1 or 2 years of The Simpsons, please comment and let me know. Because I never know anybody that actually physically watches the show. I know it just sounds. Maybe it's not as strange as it makes it seem. Now, I think some people say that's around season 9. So after, the season after this episode, that things kind of went tits up. Just around season 9, season 8, season 9, season 10, when you had episodes that I was that big on. Because I was the guy that, like, every episode, even if it wasn't the funniest, it was still enjoyable. Like this, it's enjoyable. Might not be the funniest thing on God's green earth, or Lucifer's green earth, or whatever the hell, Buddha's green earth. But it's still fun, because I like the characters, Lisa, Homer, Marge, Bart, the side characters, whether it be Barney, or Krusty the Clown, or Chief Wiggums, the slithery, Mr. Burns. And it's got nice music, and sometimes got some nice heart to it. And I still remember the episode with Homer's mother. And Homer's mother's gotta be on the run again, and she says goodbye. And there's a sweet ending where Homer's says goodbye, is sad. And he just sits on the car and is looking at the stars. And, like, some of the most beautiful piece of music I've heard in the entire show. Homer looking at the stars, thinking of his mom, hoping that he'll see his mom again. One of the sweetest moments in the entire fucking show. And that's a cartoon that could elicit those emotions. But that was around the time where you had season 8, 9, 10. I forget when the Homer's mom, when that. So it's not like, the show absolutely went to shit and there's nothing good on it, but there was Homer's Enemy, Behind the Laughter, and The Principal and the Pauper. 3 episodes that I went, these are episodes I don't really like. But sincerely just went, I don't like these. It's not outright rage or hatred, but I don't like these. Almost every other episode I can enjoy, have fun, whatever, it's fast paced, it's only 20 minutes long. But The Principal of the Pauper was, oh no, that's not really Principal Skinners. That was a guy, and because yes, it's a cartoon, but what the writers and creators kind of, I think Matt Groening, I don't know about him as a person, but as a creator, because there's been accusations about Groening, but with him, I don't know what's true and what's not. So until it's confirmed and I know about it, then I can have different opinions on it. But and if you want to know, just look him up. I'm not going to get into it. That's a different tangent. But the first couple seasons of Simpsons, they made it seem as if the characters were real, and they made it seem as if there was going to be a backstory to these characters, a history to these characters, what these characters are going through, what these characters are partaking in. And because people seemed like that was more real characters than live-action sitcom characters, people got into the characters, they got into the story, they got into the backstory, they got into the history. You made the audience care. And so when you start fucking things around, go, well, that's not really the character, and that background we told you 2 seasons ago, that was completely made up, it's actually something that's a completely different. The audience feel like they get jerked around. And because you made the audience forget that it's a cartoon, and you made them like the characters and think of it as characters you just like and relate to. And you like to think, yes, it's cartoon characters, they're not going to age unless you tell them to, but they still have like a past and a present. But now you make it seem like no, they don't have a past. As a side note, I looked at one episode recently, just out of curiosity. It was Marge Simpson, which Julie Kavner's voice lately gone. Like, you know, Marge sounds one way, but now Julie Kavner, just because of age, like, hello, my name is Marge. Sad. God. But now they have it that, oh, and when they were teenagers, it was the Y2K 1999. I'm sitting there going, no, I remember when these characters were teenagers. It wasn't 1999. Homer's dad was in World War II. And Marge had a, was it oh, what kind of lunchbox it was? It wasn't, was it the Partridge Family, or when she went to school? And now, oh no, because characters don't age, you just go, well, you know, it's 20 years before, so just say that. And so now there's no sense of continuity. And oh, what's the big deal? It's a cartoon. But again, they try to make that a thing in the first couple seasons. And then they just threw it out the window. And not all, but there's a good chunk of people that went, well, if you stop caring, then I stop caring. And, you know, like the Principal the Pauper, oh, that's not Principal Skinner. This is Principal Skinner. A Homer's Enemy. Homer's Enemy, I think it's because it kind of dictated just how awful Homer Simpson is. And I like Homer Simpson as a character, and he's a very flawed character. But that episode completely put a neon sign and just, yes, this is how awful Homer is. And what the Homer's Enemy that Frank Grimes is saying is true. Absolutely true. But he's labeled a bad guy, and he dies for speaking the truth. And I just thought that was a bit of a, in my opinion, a darker... A lot of people find it funny as one of their favorite episodes. I thought it was just kind of a dark, bitter episode in a way. I'm like, this really doesn't make you like the Homer character. Or it's almost like telling the audience, no, you shouldn't like Homer. And then Behind the Laughter, I would say that's my least favorite episode of the entire show, because, again, I know this is stupid, but this is me. So go figure. Behind the Laughter pretty much said, oh yeah, The Simpsons is fake. Like, they are a family, but this was just Homer. He thought of this idea, as some of the episodes you saw are episodes. Like, this is a TV show, and we made this all stuff up, and we're playing this off to be crazier than it really is. And it's kind of... I know it's a cartoon, but imagine a Beavis and Butthead episode, where Beavis and Butthead stop and they start talking like I don't know, Mike Judge in real life. Mike Judge and my Judge just talking to each other regular, and oh yeah, this is all act and this is a show, and the hippie teacher, he actually has a much deeper voice. Oh yeah, I mean, he's smoking cigarettes. The school, boom, it's a set. There's people work on it. The people like, I'll talk for myself. I like the illusion. If I'm watching something, there are exceptions. There's always exceptions to the rule, always. But if there's an illusion, I like to keep it that way. And when you break it that severely, it just, at the back of my head, I still remember that. Even as I'm watching the rest of the show, I'm like, okay, yeah, I know it's fake and I know it's a cartoon, but you don't have to tell me that. It's like there's this movie called Turtles Forever about the Ninja Turtles. Love it, but the very end, it pushes back, and there's Kevin Eastman, Peter Laird, they're drawing it. It's like, I know, but don't break the illusion like within your movie, yeah, this is fake, by the way. You know that, right? It's like, yeah, but you're watching it to escape and consume the illusion for 20 minutes or so. But a lot of people feel Beyond the Laughter is one of the best episodes. I'm like, well, whatever. And that's around the time things started to seem to change, and I went, I don't know about this. Still a lot of episodes I liked, to be fair. I mean, I got what? I mean, quite a bit of them. But it's not like the show was complete shit after that, but it went from here to a bit here. Loving it to liking it. And like the Simpsons movie, if you told me in well, I first saw the VHS tape probably. Okay, if you told me in the year 2000 there's a Simpsons movie, I would have been absolutely excited. Because I didn't have Fox, the channel, I would watch them in reruns. But then when the Simpsons movie came out, I just hated it. I didn't think it was funny. I thought it was kind of too little too late. And I thought it was pretty forgettable. And I really did not like Homer Simpson in that. I thought, yeah, okay, Marge, don't take Homer Simpson back. I know I've been that long, I haven't even talked about the episode, but I just kind of gave my feelings about how the Simpsons really enjoyed them, and as the years come by, that just went to meh. Because it goes to that old phrase, how can I miss you if you don't go away? There's no time for anyone to miss the show. I just say I missed Beavis and Butthead. I missed this and missed that. Here, you never miss the Simpsons because they're always making new stuff. I can imagine how much time, like if you wanted to watch every episode, just how many fucking days it would take. Days? Years, probably. But getting to Burns Baby Burns, the episode itself, it's a decent one. Simpsons go to the cider mill and Homer absolutely hates it, which I would hate it as well. Didn't mind the joke where he's talking to Flanders, who of course gets a membership there, Ned Flanders, and then Homer's brain goes, well, you just stay here, but I'm leaving, and you see like a ghost of a brain leave, and Homer just staring there, just listening to Flanders. They get back on a train, they go back home, and there's a souvenir. No, actually, they leave, and then Burns. They leave, and then Burns and Smithers, they were at a game, and they're going back home on a train, and they pass by the souvenir shop, which Rodney Dangerfield owns. And Rodney recognizes Mr. Burns, and he has a picture, and he runs towards him. Where you going, Springfield? What state? And of course, that's the joke. You never know what state Springfield really is in. And Rodney Dangerfield is trying to get there. He's trying to hitchhike. And then you get to, I think, one of the better jokes of the episode. Homer's like, we should pick him up. Marge's like, no. It cuts and they're still arguing. And Marge's like, no, we're going back. We're going to pick him up, okay? And the thing is, they're right at home, like 2 feet from the driveway. And then they back up, then they go all the way back. So it's funny that the argument took so long. They're like 2 feet away from their home. Well, I thought that was a nice reveal, and I thought that was funny. And Rodney Dangerfield, I'm a fan of Rodney. Easy Money with him and Joe Pesci's fun. Back to School is fun. Caddyshack, of course. Big fan of Rodney Dangerfield. I mean, I may not be big on his later ones. Meet Wally Sparks. The Five Wives or something. But, Ronnie does have a charm to him. And it was fun to hear him on this show. Oh, man. You got more bread than a prison meatloaf. Man, never seen a place with a walk-in mailbox. Oh, I'm nervous. I'm like a rug on Valium. Rodney gets there, gets to Mr. Burns, says, I'm your son. There's a marking. He did a flashback of how Burns was with this lady. And then, and, playing off Rodney's type of characters he would play in Caddyshack. This bit more of a slob who's trying to fit in with the upper echelon of people. Like Burns has this lady. Oh, she came out last spring. Oh, man. Maybe put her back. What was it? Oh, she came. Put her back in. Yeah, she's not done yet. See, I can't do it at all. And also, they play up the fact that, one of the things he would say, I got no respect, no respect, but they don't say that. He says, I got no regard at all. No esteem either. Like, they play around with that. Whether at least another, him and Homer become friends. I wish there was a bit more of him and Homer hanging out and having fun with each other. But I guess there wasn't much time for that. He does invite Homer to dinner, and it becomes awkward because Mr. Burns is mad at Rodney. And Rodney's like, oh, he doesn't love me, this and that. Homer gets the idea, oh, let's do a phony kidnapping. And of course, that doesn't work out. There's some decent jokes. Some I've heard before. Trace the number 555. Oh, that's a fake. I mean, I heard that in The Adventures of Ford Fairlane. Nah, 555 is a real number. Fuck you think this is? The real, real life? It comes to a bit where Homer and Ronnie are running away from the cops, and they go what they think is an abandoned building, but they go in, there's a bunch of people there. Well, at least another. The cops are there, and Homer gives his speech. That's kind of funny. Sometimes it tends to be obnoxious, or boring, or stinky, but you love them. Ronnie and Burns hug, and then Burns is like, well, I can't do this. It's not me. Oh, that's okay. Oh, wait. I got a wife and kid. I told them I was at work. That was a week ago. And of course you get a bit of Caddyshack at the end, which is fun. You have a bit of Journey song, which was in Caddyshack. Any way you need it, that's the way you want it. Any way you need it. Any way you want it, that's the way you need it. Which is a bit in Caddyshack, where, on the golf course, he plays that music because he's got a radio and his golf clubs. He's doing the dance. Let's party. I'm surprised they used that song and not the Caddyshack, the I'm alright, don't nobody worry about me. I think the Simpsons did use that song, but I can't remember which episode, so maybe that's why. Maybe they thought we already did that joke. But I mean, this is fun just to see Rodney Dangerfield, who's a great comedic talent. There's a lot of people out there that might not know who the hell he is, but check out Back to School, check out Easy Money, some of his stand-up. Very funny guy. It was great to see him as part of the show. I thought he fit. It didn't seem too out of place. Yeah, they never brought the character back, I don't think. And, rest in peace to Rodney Dangerfield. Great talent. Like I said, there's a few other jokes that made me chuckle. I mentioned, like, when Homer and Marge are arguing about whether to pick the hitchhiker up, and then they finish this discussion right where they're at home, and then they drive all the way back. That's probably, I would say that's my favorite joke in the episode. I thought the third act, it wasn't nearly as funny as the first two, but I wouldn't say this is like one of my favorite episodes, but it was alright. It was decent. And like I said, it was just great to hear Rodney again. Again, very talented guy, talented individual. You know, The Simpsons, I like the designs. It's unique to the show. I think the music is very good on the show. No one really talks about the music, but I think that's an underrated trait that the show has, is the musical score for a lot of a variety of scenes. I think they work well. And it's just a shame that I think what should have happened is at a point they should have just stopped, and then with movies, get the creative juices flowing, because how can the creative juices still be flowing when you're doing an episode like every week, or try to have them for every week, and you're at what, I don't know how many episodes they're at now. I'm sure 700 has to be over 700 episodes, and you're going. I mean, it's the longest cartoon. It's the longest sitcom. I don't know what the longest show is, but it has to be close to that. I'll be curious to hear people's thoughts on just Simpsons in general. I would still rather watch them in Family Guy because I'm not a fan of Family Guy. Never been. But The Simpsons, again, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it is telling when you have a. I've seen other people talk about, man, I wish this show would just end. But it is what it is. With that said, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye bye.